like that you're just like dancing over there. You are in it. Hey, I love that I'm all like summer over. Hold on. Hello, everyone. What's happening? I just wanted to comment real quick that I love that you're like in long sleeves and I'm like dressed for summer over here.
Yes, it is not summer right now. Yesterday it was really warm. Yesterday I considered pulling out the shorts. Today I am putting on the blankets. I even have a blanket on here. This is the Zoom look. Zoom look. You can't see it.
I just turned on the air conditioning in the room here because it was so stuffy.
Showing up. Love it.
Hello, beautiful ladies. Hello to you. How's it going? We are live. It is Sister Straight Talk today, and we are talking about what, Molly? What are we talking about?
Good stuff. We are talking about this age-old classic question of they're successful because they're lucky, or because they're fortunate, or because they were handed a good deck of cards in life, or because they were just born with something that I don't have, some sort of mental skill set or fortitude. Now, I can't do it. Obviously, they're different than me, right?
Right. It's impossible. How could I possibly be them? They were born more beautiful. They were born more talented. They were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. It's impossible for me.
Mm-hmm. So is that true or is that false? What type of person are you? Are you the type of person who can't get anywhere in life because that just wasn't the lot life handed you? Or are you the type of person who figures it out and makes it successful, makes your life and your situation successful because of attitude choices and mindset help? Which type are you? And I know that I teased you all with something earlier today about the body type thing. Don't worry, we'll still talk about fun stuff like that. But as Emily and I were talking earlier today, we were like, you know what? I think this topic is more relevant.
It's more relevant to now. It's more relevant to the season of kind of, you know, and Molly and I, we're speaking to all of you, but also we're speaking to you as we would speak to ourselves a lot of the time. And it's relevant to a season of growth that we just feel like our audience needs to hear today. And really it's about raising the bar on your life. It's about raising the standards on your life. It's about not settling for feeling like this is the deck of cards that you have. This is as good as it gets. And so we're going to talk about really high performance habits. What are high performance habits? Am I speaking a language that even makes sense right now? Also, guys, let us know that you're here. Say hello. Oh, hello, Jen. Jen, hello. So lovely to have you. If you're here, let us know. We always love to know where you're tuning in from. We always love to know, you know, what the weather is like where you are. Obviously, Molly and I are living in two different seasons right now.
We are experiencing two different seasons. Yeah, it's true. So are you drinking? Oh, I forgot my mug. I have my Michigan mug today instead. Sorry, guys. I've been sitting at my desk doing some work, and my husband has been bringing me tea. And he's been bringing it to me in my little favorite mugs. I have a big mug tumbler collection. Who else does? Who else has more tumblers, shaker cups, and mugs than they can possibly use in a month parameter? Because that's
I was told by Ryan recently that I was required to get rid of about half of them because we have an entire cabinet that is just that, those things. And like, I don't even use them. I'm just storing them. It doesn't make any sense. So anyways, I know that someone out there, I know that probably most people out there feel that way about mugs and tumblers and have multiple cabinets and shelves with them. But
maybe that's me.
I mean, maybe that's me. I mean, it is me. It is absolutely me. In fact, Ryan was like, I got a new one. And he's like, Emily, you have two others that you have to get rid of before we put this one away. It's almost like some people are with shoes.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Oh, that's a fun topic because I'm like that with shoes as well. Purses, cups, mugs, whatever. Shoes. Sunglasses. Oh my goodness. And sunglasses.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Carol,
so
I'm so happy to have you here. All right, well, let's dig in. Let's dig in.
Just get
so let's talk about what we're talking about today, which is, I was going to have you.
That's me. That's me. That's my cue. That's my cue. I feel like I'm on stage at the high school play, and the prince.
And you forgot your line, right, and your grandparents are all there, like taking photos.
And the stage manager's behind the curtain. She's like, line. Anybody else relate? Anybody else relate to that? Okay, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about this age-old question, this age-old concept of, am I as successful as I can be because of who I am, how I was born, the situation I was born into, the deck of cards that I got? So is this my level? Is this where I'm at? Is this all that I can achieve? And that person over there is more successful because, well, A, B, C, D, and X, Y, Z, clearly just look at them, right? Or is it possible, you heard what I said, or is it possible for me to succeed or to be at the same level as them? Is that even possible for me? Is that even feasible? Or am I smoking a pipe dream right now? Am I filling my head with
you and your metaphors today?
Am I filling my head with ideals and goals and aspirations that are just making me feel discontented and ungrateful, and and it's riling me up inside, and really I just need to be more thankful, grateful, and blessed for where I am at in life right now, because this is as good as it gets, sister. This is as good as it gets. And so this is a question that I think a lot of people with faith, truly, of any kind, bounce back and forth between, trying to find that road for them, trying to find that understanding for them. And so we're going to dig in a little bit today and answer this question for you, or at least pretend to help you answer this question for yourself. Because here's a little secret, guys. You already know the answer. You already know the answer to this. And sometimes we don't want to accept the answer. And it's easier for us to say to ourselves the answer that makes us feel better about our situation.
Oh, so my gosh, so much easier.
Dive in a little bit to this, and we're going to get the big fun stuff out of the way. Can you actually succeed? Yes, you can.
All right, and that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us today. Now we are going to talk about how you can actually succeed, and we're going to give you hopefully some tools in order to learn how to succeed, especially if you're feeling like it's impossible, especially if you feel like other people are achieving what you just simply cannot achieve. And we're going to talk about a principle that Brendon Burchard talks about. If you are familiar with his high performance habits, we're going to just take one really snippet. I mean, there's so much value there about what is high performance and what are high performance habits. And we could talk for days and hours about that, but we're going to take a slice of the pie of what high performance habits are. So if you're thinking, how can I get to my next level in life, whether it's in business, it's in relationships, whatever that goal is, what is being a high performer mean? I mean, we hear that term, we know that people are successful, but what does it mean to actually be a high performer? And what does that look like for my life to be a high performer? And the first thing we're going to talk about is something called raising, I'm typing it on the notes as I talk, raising necessity. Okay, raising necessity.
So I'm going to interject for a quick second.
Please interject for a quick second.
Because like I just said, I'm just going to get the heavy stuff out of the way. Can you succeed? Yes. In short, you're going to find out that yes, you can succeed, and that there is no, this person's more special than me. That's not true. That's a lie. That's falsity. Is it, however, true that some people really are given certain sets of life situations that maybe make certain components easier or certain things fall into place better. Is that true? 100%. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But does that mean that you don't still have that ability inside of you to create habits, mindset, and success at the same level that anyone and everyone is at? Because drop it in the comments. We all know somebody. Maybe don't drop the names in the comments, but like raise a hand in the comments. We all know somebody who was really successful or who's really popular, who got a really good hand, a really good deck of cards, and they somehow screwed it up or wasted it.
Yeah.
Or didn't achieve something.
Yeah, drop those names.
We all know that. We all know those people.
Drop those names.
Yes. So mathematically, we know
we
that
all know somebody. I mean, we all know somebody from high school who was the one that was like voted to go the furthest in life or whatever, or was the class president and the cheerleading superstar. And you look at them now. We all know someone, and we look at them now. We're like, what happened there? It feels like they had all the things in line to have a massively successful life. And where they are now, maybe not a failure necessarily, but where they are now just feels so not what their potential was, what we thought would become of them. So anybody can be a high performer. Anybody can learn the habits of high performance and take their starting point to where they want to be in life. Anybody, it doesn't matter what the deck of cards are that you're given. And the one thing that high performers do is they raise necessity. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, what does that mean? What does raising necessity mean? I mean, it's a fancy phrase. What does it mean? And so we're going to dig into that a little bit. Raising necessity.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for the comment. It's been so great. It's so great to have you with us again. Awesome.
It is so great to have you with us again. All of you that are here. So we're going to talk about what does raising necessity mean. And the first thing we're going to break it down is raising necessity means it is all about feeling emotionally committed to whatever you want to do in life and reaching a point where it becomes necessary that you will excel at all costs. You raised necessity. The necessity is you have a new baseline. So you think about the standards that you have in your life as being the baseline of what you are willing to accept in your life. And if your necessity level is down here for whatever that is, then that's where you're going to stay. But if you want to raise your necessity, then you also need to have that component of emotional commitment to whatever you want to do in life, meaning that things aren't going to sway you from that. Maybe the timing of it won't happen, in a perfect world, the timing would be quicker or easier or all of those things, but you are so emotionally committed to what you want to accomplish that you reach a point where, another way of saying it's a non-negotiable for you. So it becomes necessary that you will excel at all costs. And that is the first step in building this habit. It's your first course of action, is understanding the driving force behind what makes you feel that necessity and motivation to perform at a higher level. So if you don't understand why you're driven to do that, then you'll lose focus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think we put that into a box, a category. We immediately think of a financial component or a business component, and we're comparing ourselves to other people who we think or we view as being more successful because of a dollar amount or something that they're being paid or compensated for. But I'm just going to throw out an example right now of somebody who is
really out there
at a high level of success, doing that very thing, raising the baseline of necessity. And you're thinking small. You're not even thinking of the big picture of the number of things in your day and in your life that you're doing this with. What about that single parent who just had to raise the necessity and the baseline for themselves to do something really successful that other people would struggle at or would not accomplish as well? But because of the necessity that they have in their life, the passion that they have in their life for that child, they have accomplished that. They have done that. And that's not something that everybody faces. And that's not something that everybody does. So when you're fine tuning this and when you're looking at, okay, what am I passionate about? What do I need to raise the bar in my life? Like, where is my necessity at? Think about people. Think about individuals in your world and in your life who you love or who you take care of or who you bring value to every day. And that is a form, a really significant form of this success in your life.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about the 4 forces of necessity, because, this is all from High Performance Habits. So this is a snippet, but it's from Brendon Burchard's book, High Performance Habits. I'm sure a lot of people in our audience are super familiar with it. But when we talk about building,
yes, smash that heart button if you are.
Yes, if you are. But when we talk about building this habit, and your first course of action is understanding that driving force behind what makes you feel that necessity and motivation to perform at higher levels, there are 4 forces of necessity behind that. And the first one is, hold on, I know you guys love it.
I love how professional the
identity is. Oh my gosh, don't you love that? Identity is your personal standard of excellence. So your identity is based on the accomplishment of whatever this is for you, whatever that goal is. And it's not necessarily all around work or success. It can be a personal level of achievement, personal, relationships. So the first habit of high performers raising the necessity is they know exactly who they are. They know exactly how they want to feel. They know exactly what is meaningful to them. And they have very high standards for themselves.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello, Carrie. Thanks for hopping on. We're talking about, can you actually succeed, or
is it just not in the cards for you?
Or is it just not in the cards for you? I keep trying.
No.
For you to read
Guys,
my
our
mind.
twin telepathy has never been a thing. So if any of you have that question right now, we'll just get that out of the way right now. We've never had that. Clearly.
If there are any twins out there who can think and feel and like, oh, she's in pain, I can feel her. I don't think it's true. I think you guys are lying. I'm just going to say it. Sorry if I'm going to start a fight with anybody, but never experienced it. All right. So we're talking about being a high performer, raising necessity. And what does that mean? And one of the kind of, if you think about the 4 pillars of the 4 forces, as Brendon Burchard calls it, of raising necessity, one of them is that identity around it, meaning you have such a personal standard of excellence that it's a non-negotiable for you, that this is who you are. It is your identity. The second, anything else you want to say about that, Molly?
No, keep going.
Okay. The second one is obsession. So high performers, people who have a high performance habit of raising that necessity, they have an intrinsic motivation because they strive to learn about things they find interesting, enjoyable, and personally satisfying. It's an obsessive type way of being, but not obsessive in kind of the negative way that we can think of it. It's more that they're curious about others, they're more curious than others about whatever it is that they're obsessive about. So they get to the point where they become so passionate about something that it can feel obsessive, and they feel the need or desire to master it. So they become.
And there's someone that my son watches on YouTube, and I'm completely blanking right now on what his YouTube handle is. Let me know in the comments if you know who I'm talking about, but he's a puzzle master, and he was so obsessed with doing puzzles and figuring out. And when I say puzzles, I don't mean the 2D ones on the table, on the jigsaw puzzles. I mean like puzzle boxes and things with keys and weird and things you have to figure out. He was so obsessed with it that he's turned his life and his career into him solving these puzzles live on YouTube. And my son just is obsessed with watching him solve these things.
Wait, he builds these?
Well, he's at the point now where people build ones for him
I wish you
specifically.
remembered his name.
I know. If anyone knows it, put it down. Otherwise, I can bring my son in here and ask him. He'll immediately know the name, but actually,
Okay, so but this person is obsessive with what,
obsessive.
yeah, he's obsessive with it. So he has that level of commitment to what he's raised the necessity of becoming excellent at that. He's become obsessive. Now he has a name on YouTube that we don't know what it is, but he has a name on YouTube and he has a large following. You know, I would follow him if I knew who he was, but he has a large following because he's
Here's my promise to you. Here is my promise to you all, okay? I am going to ask my son the name of this YouTuber, and I'm going to put it in the comments after we're done being live.
I have more fun joking about it. All right. So the third force is duty. Duty. And high performers often feel that someone else is counting on them, or that their purpose is much greater than anything they personally want to achieve. So it's bigger than them. It's not a selfish motivation. It's a duty to someone or something beyond themselves. And it's really the top 15% of high performers. It's not rare to hear them use words like legacy or destiny or divine timing, or something about God and divine will, or a moral responsibility to future generations. And so it's something where they're almost compelled outside of themselves to achieve this level of greatness, really, in what they do. And yes, identity does start with a grounding in who you are, why you are, and what you're supposed to be doing. It has to be based in a power outside of yourself. Yes, it does, a higher power. That's what I'm finally learning in life. Focus then on what you're here for. Preach it, brother. Preach it. Yes, 100%. So good. Thanks for sharing that, Carrie. And so that's the third force in raising necessity. The third, when I say force, I mean like the driving force, literally, like what drives someone to raise necessity. And the fourth one is urgency. So Brendon Burchard talks about urgency and talks about how people that aren't high performers get pulled into fake urgencies or things that aren't as important in that moment. They kind of allow life to control them rather than staying focused on the task at hand. And what high performers are really good at doing is prioritizing what needs to happen in their life. If high performers feel the necessity to get something done because it affects other people and they need to get it done, and other things don't distract them. And in one of our lives that we did like a year ago, I talked about how to be indistractable. I don't know if any of you
that was such
remember
a good
that.
topic day. Yes.
We should do that again. Because there's probably a lot of you who didn't hear that, and it's powerful. But really, what high performers are good at is being indistractable. They have mastered being indistractable, which honestly, the majority of people, the majority of humans are terrible at. We're distracted all the time. Also, if you're watching my stories at all today, I talked to a story today, a Thursday Thoughts, about how, you need to be the master of your own emotional control. And that emotional intelligence is really the most important intelligence there is. It is more important than intelligence like book knowledge or what degree you have, or all of those things that are important in other areas of life. But in order to be successful, truly successful in life at a deeper level, you need to have that emotional intelligence. And you need to be able to be the thermostat, not the thermometer of what's happening in your own mind. So you can't let other people create the temperature of how you feel about yourself or how you feel about your life. You have to be in charge of that. EQ starts with know thyself. Yes. So you have to be in charge of that. And what I think that, your takeaway about high performers should be is that they're excellent at doing that because they're not constantly getting pulled down by other people's, honestly struggle. They are there to help people. They have that sense of duty. They have that sense of, of wanting to go above and beyond outside of themselves, but they won't allow your complaining, your lack of focus, your lack of motivation, your lack of urgency, even in a good way, control or dictate how they approach the problem at hand or how they approach where they're going in life. And so many people get lost in the emotions of every little thing around them. And if you master that, you are honestly already on track to be a high performer.
Yes. And there's so many tools and ways that you can learn how to master that. So it's some people really are just more emotional. They're highly sensitive.
I'm not saying being emotional is bad.
Yeah. But what we're talking about here is that everyone actually does have that capability of having this voice, this way, this ability to process things and to learn about themselves. How do I process? How do I handle this? How do I decompress? What is my personality type? Who am I as a person? So then how can I learn to function in the person that I am so that I can truly master that? And something for me personally, because I am a more emotional person, I am really high on that empath spectrum of things. I discovered that I really need to take time for myself every day to do some sort of a meditation, like a decompression, where I can actually just shake off and process the energy that's constantly overburdening me throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Other people, they don't have that struggle. They're just able to have this laser focus. They just like charge through like a bolt. Well, those people, they need to master their emotion by actually learning how to tune into their emotion so that they can relate to other people. So it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum of it. You're going to have a challenge that you're going to have to master in the ability of emotions.
Yeah. Great book recommendations, Carrie. I've heard of the emotional intelligence, the emotional freedom. I don't know that one, but those are great. Guys, check the comments out. Those are good book recommendations. Okay, so
if you can see all the comments, they will. We're streaming to a bunch of different places.
Oh yes, we'll check the comments on where Carrie is commenting. Whatever platform, whatever link that Carrie is commenting on, that's the one with the book recommendation.
Right, okay. That's the one you want.
So now we're going to talk about the 3 practices on how to raise necessity in your life, because you might be listening to this and you might be thinking, well, that's well and good. Sounds great. How do we do it? And guys, this is just a quick snapshot. So, I mean, Brendon Burchard has written a whole book and created a whole career on this. So do not expect to get everything you need from this live, but this raising necessity is such a critical component. And so Molly and I felt like this was a value. And if you're getting value out of this, please let us know. But we felt like this was a value for here and now in this moment. So let's talk about 3 practices on how to raise necessity in your life.
Drop it below. Give me 3 thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up 3 times, put 3 below, because we're going to give you the tools right now. And this is where it gets exciting.
Okay, so the first one is know who needs your A game.
Yes. Not everybody. Guess what? Not everybody needs you. Not everybody needs your A game. So stop putting all your alphabets in everyone else's yard.
You had metaphors.
All your letters.
Yeah.
Stop putting all your letters in everyone else's yard.
Stop putting your alphabets in other people's yards already. Also, this is something you can do. So keep like a sticky note, on your mirror, on your fridge, or wherever you look very often, because you can often doubt yourself. And high performers doubt themselves all the time. They're humans, just like everyone else. But to get back on track, they use tricks like putting like a little note somewhere that reminds them, who needs me on my A game the most right now? Showing up for that other person in your life, showing up for your kids, showing up for your spouse, your partner, showing up for your team, your business partners. This will force you to think and ask questions like, what is my A game? Am I even giving my A game? Can I do more? Am Am I bringing my A game consistently, or am I like bringing my A game on Mondays and then B game on Tuesdays, and then by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's C game?
Wednesday's the camel game.
Yeah. And also think of someone else who will hold you at a higher level of accountability. So if you feel like you're not at your A game, or you're not, leveling up to what you need to be for other people that need you on your A game, have somebody that you trust, have someone in your network, in your life, that you would go to and say, hey, keep me accountable to this. Facebook Live, Carrie. I know you're on Facebook Live, but there we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different pages. It's not helpful. Okay. Thank you, though. All right. Next is Affirm. I'm going to put it on the screen before I say it. Affirm your why.
Affirm your why. Oh, the why. The why is when it gets really good. If you know your why in life, if you know your why for whatever it is that you're doing, and your why changes, your why can change, but that's your motivation. That's your inner inspiration. You don't need someone preaching down inspiration to you all day long to get you to do the things. You got that inner inspiration right here. Tell them why. This is why. This is why.
And something that high performers do is they share their why with people that are close to them, people that they trust. And if you have a goal and you're not sharing your why, and you're not communicating, the goal and the why behind it, and why you even want to be accomplishing this thing, it's important to ask yourself, why not? Like, why aren't you sharing? Why are you keeping it so close? Why are you not caring about your goal enough to vocalize it in a way where you now have people that are helping you stay accountable to getting there? Is it because you're afraid of success? Is it because you're afraid of what they'll think if you don't achieve it? Maybe you're afraid of failure. Understanding why, your why, and then why you're not doing certain things is equally as important.
Or maybe you think your why is ridiculous. Somebody else isn't going to respect it or understand it. And so then you kind of keep it shrouded up inside of you, and you don't let it motivate or inspire you to something. Because if somebody were to find out what your real motivation is for accomplishing something, you don't want to look a fool. And then if you say it out loud and it sounds ridiculous, you don't want to say that. And ultimately it leads to insecurity, because your why doesn't have to make sense to someone else. It doesn't have to be someone else's why. It's yours. It's all yours.
It's all that matters. So the third one is level up your squad.
We need our
you've heard, I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but you become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So look around at the group of people.
Is that why I look so much like you, Emily?
Yes. That's why. But look at the people that you're spending the most time with. Look at the people that you're getting the most advice from, hanging out with the most. And you are the average of those 5 people. So if those 5 people are close and they're friends and you like them, but you don't want to be where they are in life, you want something different for your life, it's an honest question you need to ask yourself. Are these people helping me go further, or are they keeping me where I'm at?
And does it feel like good? That soak in for a minute.
Yeah. And if they're helping me stay where I'm at, why is that okay? They make me feel good about settling for less. They make me feel okay about not reaching my true potential. They don't challenge me. They affirm my bad habits, whatever it is. And maybe your group of 5 are amazing and none of these things apply to you. But if you're frustrated, if you know you could be more of a high performer than you are, you know you could raise necessity in your life and you're not, take a cold, hard look at who you spend the most time with, who you spend the most time listening to. I love everybody's going to be like, I just unfriended all of my friends. I just left my husband. Emily told me to.
Please don't. Please don't.
No, that's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. I was watching Sister Straight Talk, and they told me I can't be
They gave it to me
friends with you
straight,
guys anymore.
girlfriend. They gave it to me straight, and I can't see you anymore.
But seriously, you need to level up your squad. I love the squad we're in, Molly. I love our squad.
It's pretty cozy. It's pretty cozy. You know what's even better about it?
Yeah.
You know what's even better about it is that it's a limousine, so there's lots of room.
There's lots of room. Yes, it is a limousine. It's a stretch limo. We got plenty of room in the back for you. And we'll just keep adding in rows too, because we got plenty of space. So that's all I had. That's all I wanted to say. That's
really bringing the value to Sister Straight Talk today. Let us know, did you get value from that? Do you have some things to contemplate and think about? And what is going to be your action item? What are you going to think about the most of the 3 things that she just told us about? Finding your why, looking at the people who are around you, and the first one, which was
Oh.
Were you firing in the comments? Because my partner here is not on her A game right now. Oh, bring your A game. Haha. See what I did there? Bring your A game.
What did you want me to bring up?
We got it solved. I figured it out. See?
Oh, good.
Bring your A game. Okay.
Yes.
So what do you need to bring your A game to? Know your why and see who the people are around you. Okay. And so drop it in the comments. What of the 3 are you going to focus on right now? Just pick one, like a really good one. Let's know.
Are we pausing for them to respond?
Well, I mean, I was sort of hoping somebody would respond. Reaction.
Keep leveling up, Carrie. Keep leveling up. I mean, you're hanging out with us on Thursday, so I think you're doing okay. I think you're doing it.
I think you're doing it.
All right. Well, our desire for all of you is to succeed in whatever your dreams are and whatever your passions are. And honestly, to stop making excuses for why it's impossible for you. Because the question of the day is, can you actually succeed, or are the cards stacked against you? And the answer is, you can actually succeed. The cards are not stacked against you. And the first step in that is raising necessity. Raising necessity. There you go. Raising necessity. That's the first step.
You know, Emily and I were listening to a really great podcast earlier today, and the theme was, so you're having a bad day, so you think that your cards are worse than someone else's, so you think you have a legitimate reason to not succeed or to not be happy. Well, how about this? There was a man hiking and a boulder fell and pinned his arm underneath this super big boulder, and he was there for 4 days trapped until finally he realized, out of necessity, he had to amputate his own arm in order to leave, to escape this.
To survive.
To survive.
Yeah.
And he goes on and gives a list of a bunch of other people, similar situation, really horrific life situations of assault, of lots of awful, horrible things happened to them. And they had to raise the necessity in their life in order to succeed and move past that. And here we are complaining that we can't succeed because we're too tired, or we missed our alarm, or, some, legitimately awful something happened. Okay. But if other people are out there having legitimately terrible things happen to them, and their response to that is, I'm just really thankful that I'm still alive and that I get to wake up.
Their response was, and I quote, "It could have been worse."
Could have been worse.
Yeah. It could have been worse. And here we are.
That would not be my response, by the way.
That would not be my response either. No, that is a challenge to me. I am speaking to you all because I am also feeling the same need to raise necessity. Like I am speaking to myself when I speak all of these things.
Yeah.
And for us to, honestly, for us to have the excuses that we have, and honestly, the cozy life that most of us have, the types of excuses that we come up with, one of our business partners, she always says, any excuse will do. When you've made the decision that you're not going to achieve something because of X, Y, or Z, any excuse will do. Mm-hmm. Any excuse will do. And so our challenge to you as we sign off for the day is, are you willing to raise the necessity in your life?
To raise the necessity with us, because we like to share things with you that we're personally growing in our Be Better Together journey. And then we share them with you.
Yes, 100%. So we thank you for watching. Let us know if you're watching the replay, #replay. We always like to know. Go find Carrie's comments on Facebook Live somewhere for the books that are great recommendations. And we'll catch you next Thursday, guys. Oh, next Thursday we have a very special guest. So Molly will not be here. She will be replaced by someone else named Melissa, an amazing friend of mine, an amazing, I won't say too much, but she's going to be amazing. We don't know exactly. I can't give you a topic just yet, but it's going to be great. And she does small business marketing and all these amazing things. Anyways, Melissa will be on next week. We're kicking Molly out to the curb just for next week.
I can't wait to take a break, drink from my Be Better Together coffee mug, and watch somebody else do the work for me.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, we'll catch you guys next week. Have an amazing rest of your Thursday. That's it. That's a wrap.